Imagine this. Every day, the clock gives you 24 golden hours. Most people waste them, scrolling, complaining, or waiting for the right time. But what if you decided that just 1 hour a day would not be wasted? What if you poured that single hour into building yourself, into learning, into chasing a vision so big it scares you? That's 365 hours in a year. Over 30 years, that's more than 10,000 hours, enough to master any skill, build a fortune, or completely transform your destiny. 1 hour may seem small. It may feel like nothing. But every mountain is climbed one step at a time, and every empire is built brick by brick. Most people look at the 30 years ahead of them and say, "I'll start tomorrow." But tomorrow never comes. You only have today. You only have this hour. And what you choose to do with it decides whether 30 years from now you're living your dream or regretting every wasted chance. Think about it. An hour a day reading could make you wiser than most people in the world. An hour a day working on your craft could make you world class. An hour a day exercising could give you the health and strength most people wish they had. And an hour a day reflecting, planning, and praying could bring you peace no money can buy. The truth, you don't need more time. You need more discipline. Because the next 30 years of your life are already being decided by what you do in this 1 hour today. Will you waste it? Or will you use it as a weapon to build the future you deserve? They say a single hour is nothing. 60 minutes, 3,600 seconds, a blink in the vast river of time. But what if I told you that this 1 hour, the very one you've ignored, wasted, scrolled away, or complained through, could be the key that unlocks the next 30 years of your life? Think about it. 30 years. That's 10,950 days, 262,800 hours. And in the middle of that staggering ocean of time, all you need is one hour. Every day, focused, dedicated, protected like treasure. An hour where you don't live by chance, but by choice. An hour where you're not scrolling, not sleeping, not waiting for life to happen to you, but building life with your own hands. Let me ask you, what is the price of success? What is the currency of freedom? It is time, exchanged with discipline. We live in a world where people beg for shortcuts, chase hacks, and worship instant gratification. But the universe is built on a different law. What you sow, you reap. You don't get to plant laziness and harvest greatness. You don't get to spend your days in distraction and wake up decades later with success in your hands. But if you understand this truth, you can change everything, because 1 hour every single day is not just 60 minutes. It is compounding time. It is momentum. It is the fire that slowly but surely burns away weakness, until all that's left is strength, discipline, mastery. Now, let's test something. Imagine you dedicate 1 hour to learning a skill, 1 hour to building your body, 1 hour to mastering your craft, your voice, your art. Do you know what happens after 30 years? You don't just become good. You don't just become great. You become legendary. You become the one others look to, wondering how you rose so far, how you carved so deep, how you left a mark when they left none. But the truth, it was never magic. It was never luck. It was never talent. It was just 1 hour, protected and repeated. Let me say it again so it brands itself in your mind. 1 hour every day for 30 years. That is 10,950 hours. That is mastery beyond measure. That is the line between a wasted life and a meaningful one. The world won't tell you this. The world will scream, "You don't have time." But the world lies. You do have time. You always had time. The question is, what will you do with it? Every empire was built in hours. Every book was written in hours. Every invention, every song, every empire that rose and shook the world was forged in the invisible, quiet hours no one saw. So now I turn this on you. What will you do with your hour? Will you guard it like gold? Will you treat it as if your entire life depends on it, because it does? Or will you let it slip into the black hole of distraction, the endless scroll, the meaningless noise that swallows so many lives whole? If you are serious about your future, then your first enemy is not time, it is wasted time. If you are serious about building the next 30 years, then your best weapon is not luck, not talent, not even opportunity. It is discipline with 1 hour. This is the law of greatness. This is the secret the successful already know. This is the truth that could change your life forever. Discipline is not easy. If it were, everyone would do it. Everyone would rise before the sun, protect their hour, train their mind, sharpen their skills, and march forward with purpose. But most don't. They trade that sacred hour for something cheaper, comfort, distraction, or excuses. And when you ask them why, they shrugged and say, "I didn't have time." But listen to me, that is not the truth. The truth is, they didn't have discipline. 1 hour a day for 30 years sounds small. But do you know what's even smaller? The effort it takes to waste it. That is the tragedy of wasted time. It feels light in the moment, but becomes heavy when it's gone. You can carry the pain of discipline now, or the pain of regret later. The weight of discipline is measured in minutes. The weight of regret is measured in decades. When you sacrifice your 1 hour, you are not sacrificing just 60 minutes. You are sacrificing the life you could have lived, the book you could have written, the body you could have built, the family you could have provided for, the freedom you could have earned. Think about it. 30 years from now, do you want to look back and whisper, "If only I had used my time better"? Or do you want to stand tall with your chest filled with pride, knowing you built your life brick by brick, hour by hour, while the world slept, while the world scrolled, while the world wasted what you protected? People look at successful men and women and think it was talent. They think it was luck. They think it was some invisible hand that blessed them. But no, it was hours, unseen hours, guarded hours, sacrificed hours. Behind every championship, there were hours in the gym when no one clapped. Behind every song that moves your soul, there were hours of practice when no one listened. Behind every great business, there were hours of learning, building, failing, rising again, while no one believed. And now, behind the life you dream of, there is 1 hour, waiting for you to protect it. So let's be clear, your hour will not always feel good. Some days you will feel tired. Some days you will feel uninspired. Some days the weight of excuses will feel heavier than the promise of your dreams. But that is the test. Greatness is not built on easy days. It is built on days when you didn't want to do it, and you did it anyway. Sacrifice is not the enemy. Sacrifice is the currency. And when you pay it daily with your 1 hour, you buy back your future. Imagine this with me. 30 years from now, you are standing in the life you built. You are free. You are strong. You are respected. You are fulfilled. Do you know what got you there? Not luck, not shortcuts, not someone giving you a handout. It was your hour multiplied 10,000 times. So today, I ask you, will you pay the price? Will you carry the weight of discipline or the heavier weight of regret? Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself 30 years from today, not 1 year, not 5 years, 30. What do you see? Do you see a man or woman who is proud, who has built something lasting, who carries wisdom and strength carved from years of discipline? Or do you see someone tired, worn down by regret, whispering the words, "I wish I had"? This vision matters, because the life you see in 30 years is being written right now. Not tomorrow, not someday, not when things are perfect, but here, in the hour you hold in your hands tonight, this morning, this very day, that is the tragedy and the beauty of time. It doesn't wait. It doesn't pause. It doesn't care about your excuses. But it rewards consistency with results so powerful that people will call you lucky. When all you were was disciplined, the mirror of consistency, there is a law, unshakable and undeniable. What you do daily, you become permanently. Do something once, and it is nothing. Do it daily, and it becomes your identity. 1 hour wasted doesn't destroy you. 1 hour wasted every day for 30 years will. 1 hour of discipline doesn't make you great overnight, but 1 hour protected, 1 hour repeated, 1 hour stacked upon another for 10,000 hours creates greatness, so solid no storm can wash it away. Consistency is the mirror of your future. Look into it. If you want to know what you'll be in 30 years, don't ask fortune tellers, don't search the stars. Just look at your hour today. That hour is your prophecy. The ordinary who became extraordinary. History is full of ordinary people who carved extraordinary legacies by protecting their hours. Think of the writer who woke before dawn, scribbling words when no one read them, until one day the world couldn't stop reading. Think of the athlete who trained in silence, alone in a cold gym, while others laughed at their obsession until the day the arena roared their name. Think of the man or woman who built a business from nothing, 1 hour after work, night after night, until that side project became a legacy that fed families, inspired generations, and changed history. None of them were gifted with more hours than you. They had the same choice, the same daily battle. The only difference, they protected their hour. They refused to waste it. They chose pain today over regret tomorrow. Vision beyond comfort. Want to build a life worth remembering. You cannot live in the shallow pool of comfort. Comfort is where dreams drown. Comfort is the silent killer of potential. Your vision has to live beyond your comfort. When you sit down for your hour, it will not always feel good. Some days, it will feel like dragging your soul through fire. Your body will ache. Your mind will scream. Your excuses will rise like an army, whispering, "Not today." You deserve rest. You deserve easy. You deserve now. But vision answers back, I deserve more than now. I deserve later. I deserve legacy. I deserve 30 years of greatness, not 30 years of regret. And that is the battle. Every day, your excuses will fight your vision. The question is, which one will win your hour? The compound interest of life. Think of your hour like money invested, not in dollars, but in destiny. $1 invested today doesn't make you rich, but $1 invested daily for 30 years turns into wealth beyond imagination. So it is with your time. 1 hour today feels small, but 10,000 hours 30 years later, that is mastery. That is freedom. That is wealth of the body, mind, and soul. Consistency is compound interest in human form. And the greatest tragedy is that most people never realize it until it's too late. They burn their hours on things that don't matter, and when the 30 years arrive, the debt of wasted time is heavier than chains. But not you. Not anymore. Because now you know the truth. 1 hour, every day, protected, guarded, multiplied. The silent builder. Let me tell you something powerful. Greatness is often quiet. You will not always be praised for your hour. In fact, most of the time, no one will notice. You will wake early, work late, grind when others laugh, sweat when others sleep, and the world will not clap. It will not cheer. It will not thank you. But the world does not need to, because the reward is not in the applause of today, but in the transformation of tomorrow. You don't need validation. You need consistency. One day, 30 years from now, the applause will come, but not for your hour, for your life, for the way you lived, for the way you became an example, for the way you proved that time, when respected, turns into destiny. Every day you wake up, standing at the battlefield of your own life, and the weapon in your hand, though it looks small, is everything. That weapon is time. That weapon is 1 single hour. But the truth is, every hour is contested. There is a war inside you. Excuses versus discipline. Excuses whisper, "You deserve comfort. You've worked hard. 1 day off won't matter. Do it tomorrow." But discipline answers, 1 hour today matters more than 100 hours tomorrow. Because tomorrow is not promised. Today is all you have. If you win the battle for your hour, you win the battle for your life. Lose it, and regret begins to write your story. Habits, the architecture of destiny. Your hour is not just 60 minutes of action. It is the foundation of habit. And habit is the architecture of your destiny. One action repeated is an activity. One activity repeated becomes a habit. And habits, when stacked over years, build a life. Think of it like bricks. 1 brick means nothing. But lay a brick every single day, perfectly, carefully, consistently, and in 30 years, you have not just a wall, not just a house, but a fortress. Your 1 hour a day is that brick. Every day you lay one. You don't notice the fortress rising. No one claps for a single brick. But after 10,000 bricks, the world cannot ignore it. The fortress of discipline, mastery, and greatness towers so high that no storm can break it. The hidden sacrifices, the greatest lives, are not built on loud sacrifices. They are built on quiet ones. The hour you protect will often feel invisible. Your friends may mock you. Why waste time studying? Why work when you could relax? Why practice when no one is watching? They won't see the seeds you're planting. They won't understand the harvest that is coming. But remember this, farmers do not plant seeds for applause. They plant because they know a season is coming when the field will be full. And when that day comes, the same people who laughed at your hour will stand in awe of your life. Sacrifice is invisible to the world until it isn't, and then it becomes unforgettable. The voice of regret, let me speak to you honestly. The most haunting sound in the world is the voice of regret. It whispers when you are old, when your time is nearly spent, when your years cannot be reclaimed. It says, you could have been more. You could have done more. You had the time, but you wasted it. You cannot silence that voice once it comes. You can only prevent it. And the way to prevent it is by protecting your 1 hour today. When you use your hour, discipline whispers instead, well done. You moved closer. You are becoming. You are building. That is the voice you want echoing in your heart when 30 years have passed. Legacy. What you leave behind 30 years is not just about you. It's about what you leave behind when you protect your hour. You are not only building your own life, you are building the lives of those around you. Your family, your children, your community. They will not inherit your excuses. They will inherit your example. Ask yourself, what kind of ancestor will you be? The one who wasted hours and left nothing but regrets? Or the one who built discipline into a legacy so strong that generations stand on it? Your hour is your legacy in seed form. 30 years of that hour is a tree whose shade you may never sit under, but your children will. Your grandchildren will. Your community will. This is bigger than success. This is about meaning. This is about life lived with purpose. Every day, the world is full of noise. Notifications buzzing, conversations pulling, temptations waiting at every corner. The world screams for your attention. But greatness, true greatness, is not built in the noise. It is built in silence. That 1 hour you dedicate to yourself, to your growth, to your vision, is sacred. And the world will try to steal it. It will try to convince you that the hour doesn't matter, that skipping 1 day is harmless. But here is the truth. Every day you give up that hour, you give up a piece of your future. Every day you defend that hour. You defend your destiny. The prison of distractions. Most people don't fail because they are incapable. They fail because they are distracted. Distractions are prisons disguised as pleasures. Endless scrolling, meaningless entertainment, gossip, shallow conversations. They eat away at your hours, like termites eating through wood. Slowly, quietly, invisibly, until one day the whole structure collapses. But the disciplined soul sees through the illusion. They recognize that their time is life itself. To waste time is to commit silent suicide, not of the body, but of the spirit. Your 1 hour a day is your jailbreak. It is your escape from the prison of distractions. It is your rebellion against a world designed to consume your attention. When you choose your hour, you declare war on mediocrity, the loneliness of discipline. Do not expect the world to applaud your discipline. In fact, expect the opposite. When others go out to party, you will be at your desk, your book, your craft. When they sleep in, you will rise early. When they waste the evening, you will grind. And you will feel alone. You will question yourself. You will ask, is it worth it? Is 1 hour every day truly going to change anything? Let me answer, yes, Because 30 years of those hours means 10,000 hours of mastery, 10,000 hours of discipline, 10,000 hours of sacrifice. That is the difference between a wandering soul and a living legend. The loneliness you feel in your discipline is the price of greatness. But remember this: loneliness today becomes admiration tomorrow. While others will only wish they had started, you will be celebrated for never quitting the battle within, comfort versus growth inside you. There are two voices. The voice of comfort says, "Stay here, rest, take it easy. You've done enough." It promises safety, it promises ease, but its promises are chains. Comfort keeps you small. Comfort kills potential. The voice of growth says, "Push, stretch, do more than you did yesterday. Give one more rep, one more page, one more hour." Growth is uncomfortable. Growth is painful. But growth is the only path to transformation. Every time you enter your 1-hour sanctuary, you are choosing growth over comfort. And in that choice, you forge resilience. You forge strength. You forge the person you were meant to become. Your future self is watching. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself 30 years from now. Imagine standing in front of the older version of you. If you have wasted your hours, your future self will look at you with disappointment. Their eyes will scream, "Why didn't you use the time? Why didn't you protect the hour? Why did you give me regret instead of greatness?" But if you have honored your hour, your future self will smile. They will thank you. They will say, "You did it. You gave me strength, wisdom, mastery. You gave me a life worth living." Your future self is watching every choice you make today. They are waiting to see which gift you will hand them, regret or respect. The power of compounding time. People underestimate time because they measure it in days. But greatness is built when you measure in decades. 1 hour a day may seem small, but over 30 years, it compounds. Just like money compounds in interest, effort compounds in results. 1 hour of reading a day equals thousands of books in a lifetime. 1 hour of writing a day equals entire libraries of ideas. 1 hour of practice a day equals mastery at a level most can only dream of. The secret is not intensity. The secret is consistency. Greatness is not built in a week of hard work. It is built in decades of steady work. The small, daily commitment grows into a mountain. The hour is the seed. Time is the soil. Consistency is the water. Greatness is the harvest, the transformation of identity. When you show up for your 1 hour every day, something deeper happens than progress. You begin to change who you are. At first you must push yourself. "I need to use this hour." But after months and years, the push becomes unnecessary. The hour becomes part of you. You no longer do it because you have to. You do it because it is who you are. This is the highest level of discipline. When action becomes identity, you no longer think, "I am trying to be disciplined." You simply are. You don't try to train. You are the kind of person who trains. You don't try to study. You are the kind of person who learns. You don't try to create. You are the kind of person who builds. Your 1 hour reshapes your identity, and your identity reshapes your destiny. The hour as a weapon against fear. Every human heart holds fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of inadequacy. But here's the truth. Fear loses power when faced with consistent action. Your 1 hour every day is not just practice. It is war against fear. Every time you act despite fear, you weaken it. Every time you take control of your hour, fear retreats. After 30 years, fear will have no hold on you. You will stand not only as someone who achieved, but as someone who conquered themselves. So I ask you again, what will you do with your hour today? Will you let it slip into the abyss of wasted time? Or will you hold it, protect it, sharpen it into a weapon that carves out your future? The world will not give you your destiny. You must build it, and the building blocks are measured in hours. 30 years from now, you will not remember every distraction you avoided, but you will live inside the fortress you built with those hours. There comes a point on every journey where the fire of motivation begins to fade. In the beginning, your hour feels powerful. It feels like destiny. You start with energy, hope, and determination. But then life happens. Bills pile up. Stress creeps in. Doubts whisper louder. The fire of motivation becomes a flickering flame. And suddenly, the hour that once felt like a gift begins to feel like a burden. This is the dark valley of discipline. Every dreamer must walk through it. Every warrior of purpose must fight within it. This is the place where most people quit, where excuses multiply, where mediocrity waits like a predator in the shadows. But it is also the place where legends are born. The birth of excuses. When motivation fades, excuses are born. I'll start again tomorrow. I don't have time today. One missed day won't matter. Life is too busy right now. I'll focus later. Excuses are clever. They disguise themselves as logic, as reason, as practicality. But beneath the mask, excuses are thieves. They are stealing your future, one lie at a time. And here's the truth. The people who win in life are not those who never hear excuses. They are the ones who refuse to obey them. The fight between comfort and commitment. Dark valley of discipline is not a battle against the world. It is a battle against yourself. Comfort whispers, rest, relax, you've done enough. Commitment roars, stand up, show up, protect the hour. Comfort tempts you with the sweetness of the present moment. But commitment offers you the greatness of the future. The choice is yours. Every single day, think about it. Do you want a life filled with fleeting comforts, or a legacy built on lasting impact? The hour when no one is watching, the most powerful hour, is not the one you spend when people are cheering for you. It is the one you spend when no one knows, no one cares, and no one is watching. It is the quiet, hidden hours, in basements, in bedrooms, in libraries, in silence that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. Michael Jordan took thousands of shots alone in empty gyms. Beethoven composed alone in candlelight. Writers filled page after page with no readers, no applause. Those hidden hours were their weapons. Your 1 hour every day is the same. It may seem invisible to the world now, but 30 years from now, the results will be undeniable. The loneliness of the climb of the dark valley of discipline is lonely. People will not understand why you wake up early, why you stay late, why you turn off distractions, why you guard your hour so fiercely. They will call you obsessed. They will call you crazy. They will laugh. But years later, those same voices will ask you how you did it, and you will smile. Because you will know the truth. You endured the valley they were too afraid to enter. When motivation dies, systems survive. Motivation is like fire. It burns bright, but it burns out. That's why so many people start strong and then quit. But discipline is different. Discipline is not a fire. Discipline is a system. It is the structure that carries you when passion disappears. The champions of life don't rely on feeling motivated. They rely on showing up regardless of feeling. They don't ask themselves, "Do I feel like it today?" They ask, "Did I protect my hour today?" When motivation dies, systems survive. Your 1 hour repeated day after day is your survival system. It is your guarantee that progress continues, even when emotions fade. The compounding of pain and power. The dark valley is not only filled with excuses, it is filled with pain. The pain of sacrifice, the pain of missing out, the pain of hard work, the pain of waiting years for results. But here's the secret: pain compounds into power. Every painful repetition builds strength. Every boring hour of study builds wisdom. Every lonely day of persistence builds resilience. The pain you feel in the valley is not punishment. It is training. Training your spirit, your mind, your body to become unbreakable. The turning point: if you keep walking through the valley, something incredible happens. At first, the hour feels like a fight. You drag yourself into it. You resist, you complain, you wonder if it's worth it. But then, one day, the hour stops being a struggle. It becomes a rhythm, a ritual, a sacred space you look forward to. Discipline transforms into desire. And when that shift happens, you become unstoppable. Because now, your 1 hour is not something you have to do, it's something you crave. This is the turning point where most never arrive. They quit too early, just before the valley ends, just before the breakthrough. But you will endure. You will walk until you see the light. And when you emerge, you will never be the same. The hour as a legacy. Remember, the hour you spend every day, is not only about you, it is about your family, your children, your community. The world that will one day look at your life and say, "They gave us something extraordinary." Your 1 hour is an act of service. Every day you invest in yourself, you are also investing in the future of those you love. The wisdom you gain, the strength you build, the dreams you realize, they will outlive you. Your hour is your legacy. So now I ask you, will you walk through the dark valley of discipline? Will you stand when excuses scream? Will you protect the hour when comfort seduces? Will you keep moving when the world does not applaud? If you do, the valley will shape you into someone unshakable, someone unstoppable, someone unforgettable. 1 hour a day, 30 years of life, an eternity of impact. This is your choice. This is your moment. Protect it. Live it. Become it. There comes a moment when the grind transforms, when the hour that once felt like a daily struggle begins to feel like a doorway. At first, the doorway seems ordinary, just 60 minutes of effort, 60 minutes of work, 60 minutes of focus. But the truth, that doorway is leading you somewhere few will ever go. It is leading you to destiny, the evolution of the hour tat, the beginning. Your 1 hour is fragile. It must be protected from distractions, guarded from excuses, defended from laziness. Every interruption feels like a threat. Every delay feels like betrayal. But over time, something changes. Your hour grows stronger. Your focus sharpens. Your mind adapts. Your body toughens. Your spirit becomes unbreakable. And then the hour begins to evolve. It stops being just an act of discipline. It becomes a space of transformation, where once you forced yourself to show up, now the hour calls you, pulls you, and commands you. It becomes sacred, a temple of growth, where you enter one way and leave another. Vision expands. In the hour, the human mind cannot always see 30 years into the future. It cannot hold the full weight of destiny all at once. That's why most people get lost, give up, or settle. But when you commit to the hour, day after day, year after year, something miraculous happens. Vision expands. You begin to see further. You begin to think bigger. You begin to understand that greatness is not built in sudden explosions, but in quiet, consistent construction. The pyramids of Egypt were not built in a day. Cathedrals that still inspire the world took centuries to rise. And yet, those who began the work never lived to see the final result. They still laid every stone with faith. They still carved every detail with devotion. They still believed their work mattered. Your hour is the same. Every day you lay another stone in the cathedral of your life. Every day you carve another detail into the sculpture of your destiny. You may not see the masterpiece yet, but 30 years from now, the world will dot the hidden compounding. Most people underestimate compounding. They look for immediate results. They want the muscles after one workout, the wealth after one investment, the wisdom after one book. But compounding doesn't work like that. Compounding hides its power at first. It disguises itself in small progress, in invisible growth, in tiny victories. But give it time, and it explodes. 1 hour of reading becomes an entire library of knowledge. 1 hour of practice becomes a lifetime of mastery. 1 hour of focus becomes a future of unstoppable momentum. Compounding is the silent architect of destiny. Your job is not to rush it. Your job is to show up again and again, until the invisible becomes undeniable. The hour versus distraction. Never forget, your hour will always be under attack, not from enemies with weapons, but from distractions with screens. Not from wars outside, but from wars inside. Procrastination, self-doubt, instant gratification. Every time you protect your hour, you are not just building your future. You are waging war against the greatest thief of all, wasted time. Think of it, 30 years from now. Most people will not regret what they did. They will regret what they never began. They will regret the wasted hours that could have changed everything, but not you. Because you chose to protect 1 hour, and that hour will protect you. The legends of the hour history remembers the few who mastered their hours. Leonardo da Vinci protected his hours of sketching, studying, experimenting. His notebooks overflowed with genius, and today we still marvel at his vision. Nelson Mandela protected his hours in prison, reading, reflecting, strengthening his soul. And when freedom came, he was ready to lead a nation. Helen Keller, blind and deaf, protected her hours of learning, writing, speaking. Her voice still echoes through history. None of them had perfect conditions. None of them had guarantees. But all of them had an hour, and they protected it. So ask yourself, if they could turn their hours into legend, What could you turn yours into? From discipline to desire. In Part 7, we walked through the valley of discipline, that place where excuses scream and comfort tempts. But here, in Part 8, something shifts. Discipline is no longer a chain. It becomes a choice. The hour is no longer heavy. It becomes light. The grind is no longer exhausting. It becomes exhilarating. Why? Because you finally understand that the hour is not taking from you. It is giving to you. Every day. It gives you strength. Every day it gives you clarity. Every day it gives you freedom. The hour is not a cost. It is the greatest investment you will ever make. The hour as immortality here is the greatest truth of all. Your 1 hour a day can outlive you. Think about it. The book you write, the song you compose, the business you build, the wisdom you share, it can continue to touch lives long after you are gone. 1 hour a day, repeated for 30 years, can echo for centuries. When you protect your hour, you are not only shaping your future, you are shaping the future of those who come after you. Children not yet born, generations not yet imagined, lives you will never see. Your hour is immortality. So now the question is not, can I protect 1 hour? The question is, will I dare to see what 1 hour can become? Will you dare to see your hour as a seed of destiny? Will you dare to trust the compounding power of time? Will you dare to leave behind not just a life, but a legacy? Because, in the end, greatness is not built in 1 moment. It is built in 1 hour, repeated faithfully, fiercely, fearlessly, for 30 years. And when the world looks at your life, they will not see the distractions you resisted, the excuses you killed, the comfort you denied. They will see the masterpiece. They will see the destiny. They will see the hour immortalized in history. At first, 1 hour feels small, just 60 minutes, just 1 fraction of a day, just a choice. But after years of protecting it, defending it, and nurturing it, 1 hour transforms. It becomes the most powerful weapon you own. It becomes your compass, your shield, your sword, and your crown. And in time, it makes you unstoppable. The final war against mediocrity never leaves without a fight. It clings to your shoulders, whispers in your ear, tempts you with safety, comfort, and distraction. Even after years of protecting your hour, mediocrity waits for weakness. But in Part 9, the battle changes. You are no longer the fragile beginner. You are the warrior of time. Every hour has built your armor, forged your blade, sharpened your vision. Mediocrity cannot stand against consistency. It crumbles before discipline. It retreats when you show up again and again and again. The war against mediocrity is won not in 1 grand moment, but in the thousands of hidden hours where you refused to bend. The unseen transformation. Think about this. Most people will never understand what daily 1 hour devotion does to a human being. They see the results at the end, the success, the mastery, the wisdom, but they don't see the invisible transformation that happens in the process. The transformation of your mind, sharper, faster, deeper. The transformation of your body, stronger, disciplined, resilient. The transformation of your spirit, calm, focused, unbreakable. This is the gift of the hour. It reshapes you from the inside out until you no longer resemble the person who began the journey. The momentum of 30 years, 1 hour is small. 1 year is significant. but 30 years. 30 years is a revolution. 30 years of hours stack into a force so powerful it cannot be denied. 30 years turns effort into mastery, mastery into greatness, greatness into legacy. By then, the hour is not just something you protect. It is something that has protected you. It has guided your choices, preserved your focus, strengthened your purpose, and the world will see the result. The life you could have versus the life you chose at the end of 30 years. There are two lives: the life you could have lived, the life wasted on distraction, excuses, comfort, and the life you chose, the life built hour by hour, day by day, with discipline and devotion. Most people end with the first. Few dare to claim the second. You will choose, and your choice will echo for eternity. The destiny of the hour. The truth is this: 1 hour a day is not about time management. It is about destiny management. Destiny is not shaped in random bursts of effort. Destiny is not forged in scattered attempts. Destiny is crafted in daily devotion. Every day, destiny asks you one question: will you protect the hour? And every time you say yes, you are not only shaping your future, you are stepping into the destiny that was always meant for you. Imagine the last day, not tomorrow, not next week, not even next year, but the very last day, 30 years from now. You wake up in a room filled not with regrets, but with echoes of every hour you ever gave to your destiny. The sun rises, and it does not rise on wasted time. It rises on a life fully lived, a story fully told, a soul fully awakened. This is not the ending. This is the unveiling, because the hour you protected every single day has now revealed its secret. It was never about an hour. It was never about a small habit. It was about the person you became. The hour was the seed. Think back to the first day, when the hour was fragile, when you almost skipped it, when the weight of distraction nearly won. That 1 hour was a seed, small, easy to ignore, invisible to the world. But you watered it with discipline. You fed it with focus. You protected it from storms of doubt. And you gave it light through your relentless commitment. And after years, the seed became a tree that bore fruit, fruit that nourished not just you, but everyone who walked past your life. That was the secret. The hour was never just for you. It was for the world. The ripple effect of an hour. One fisherman teaches his son. One teacher inspires a classroom. One artist paints a canvas. One leader changes a nation. All of them, every single one, began with an hour. Your hour became a ripple. At first, small, touching only your heart. But over time, the ripples reached your family, your friends, your community, your nation, your world. And at the end of 30 years, you realize the 1 hour a day did not just change your life. It changed lives you will never meet. The final conversation with time. Time speaks. Quietly, but truthfully, time says, I gave you 24 hours every day. Most people squander them. But you honored me. You protected 1 hour. You built a legacy. You turned moments into monuments. And now, I will give you something no one else receives: immortality. Because time forgets the careless, but time remembers the devoted, and your devotion has made you unforgettable. The hour becomes eternity when the end comes. You realize the paradox. The 1 hour you gave every day never disappeared. It multiplied, it echoed, it lived on. The hour became skill. The skill became mastery. The mastery became impact. And the impact became eternity. That is the gift of 1 hour. It does not die with you. It becomes your legacy. The call to the next warrior. Now the torch passes. Because this message is not meant to end with you. It is meant to begin with someone else. Somewhere, someone is hearing this. Maybe they are lost. Maybe they feel broken. Maybe they believe they are too old, too late, too weak. But the truth roars through the silence. 1 hour can change everything. The question is no longer, can it be done? You have proven it. The question is, will they begin? And so the call is sent across generations. Protect the hour. Defend the hour. Honor the hour. And your life will honor you back. The final hour and now. The last scene. You stand at the edge of your 30 years. Your hour has become a crown. Your time has become a throne. Your life has become a kingdom. You close your eyes, not in regret, but in peace, because you did not waste your days. You did not gamble with your destiny. You did not betray your future. You gave 1 hour, and that 1 hour gave you everything. The credits of life roll. The music fades. The curtain closes, and yet the story continues, because time is not a cage. Time is a river. And once you have learned to master 1 hour, the river no longer controls you. You sail it. You command it. You become its captain. For 30 years, you fought for 1 hour a day. You built discipline out of dust. You carved identity out of distraction. You turned silence into power, repetition into mastery, and small steps into a mountain. But now, something unexpected happens. The hour is no longer just yours. It becomes a gift to others. The gift of transmission. Your child watches you. Your friend notices you. A stranger admires you. They may not understand every sacrifice, but they see the result. Strength in your eyes, peace in your spirit, clarity in your walk. And they ask themselves the most dangerous question of all. What if I gave myself 1 hour to... This is how movements are born. Not through speeches, not through books, but through example. Your hour becomes their permission. Your discipline becomes their possibility. Your story becomes their spark. The echo of small hours. Picture this. A young woman, broken by failure, decides not to give up. She remembers your story. She takes her first hour. A young man, lost in endless scrolling, suddenly decides to turn off his phone. He remembers your voice. He claims his hour. A mother, exhausted by work, chooses not to collapse into despair, but to use her single hour at night to write, to dream, to fight for her future. They will never meet you, but your hour touched them, and 30 years from now, their hour will touch someone else. And the chain continues. This is immortality. Not living forever, but creating something that will. The new question, the question is no longer, what will you do with 1 hour? The question is bigger. Who will you inspire with your hour? Because the truth is, someone is watching. Someone is listening. Someone is waiting for a sign. And you may be that sign. 1 hour, passed down like a torch, can ignite generations. The eternal journey. And so, the story does not end at 30 years. It does not end at 1 lifetime. It does not end with you, The story has no ending because the hour never dies. It multiplies. It expands. It becomes eternal. And as you close your eyes tonight, remember, your 1 hour today may be the reason someone else opens their eyes tomorrow with hope. So protect the hour, defend the hour, and pass it on, because your time is not just your life. Your time is humanity's greatest inheritance. There is a silence at the end of every journey, a moment when the applause fades, the lights dim, and you are left alone with your own reflection. That is where we are now, at the final chapter, the closing pages of this story. But in truth, there are no endings. Only echoes. Only seeds planted in the soil of time, waiting to grow long after you are gone. You see, the hour was never only about discipline. It was never only about success. It was never only about you. It was about something larger, something eternal. It was about becoming the proof that change is possible. The measure of a life. People often measure life in years, decades, accomplishments, trophies, but the real measure of a life is in hours. Hours given, hours wasted, hours invested. You do not need a monument to be remembered. You need only 1 hour, lived with full intention, repeated until it becomes the fabric of your existence. For when your years are over, the world will not remember how much money you made, how many possessions you owned, or how loudly you shouted. It will remember the quiet hour, the hour you chose to build when no one was watching, the hour you used to create instead of destroy, to love instead of hate, to grow instead of wither. The invisible inheritance. Imagine this, long after you are gone. Your children, or perhaps strangers who never knew your name, live differently because of the hour you defended. They will never see the mornings you fought against the temptation of sleep. They will never know the nights you gave up comfort to pursue clarity. They will never hear the arguments in your head when you wanted to quit. But they will inherit the result. They will inherit the fruit of your hour. A book written, a business built, a body healed, a soul strengthened. The hour you guarded became a gift you never intended, but one that lasts beyond you. The circle of time here is the secret. The hour does not end at 30 years. The hour does not end with your death. The hour is eternal because time is eternal. Every hour you master is returned to the universe. It is not wasted. It is recorded. It becomes a ripple, and that ripple will touch shores you will never see. So, when you ask yourself, what difference does 1 hour make? Remember this, 1 hour can last forever, if you dare to give it everything. The final challenge. So here is the last challenge. Not just to protect the hour, not just to repeat the hour, not just to live the hour, but to teach the hour. Pass it on. Give it away. Let others feel the fire you felt. Let them carry it, nurture it, and multiply it. Because the only thing greater than living your hour is knowing that the hour will outlive you. The last word. And so, as we close this long journey, hear this. Your life is not measured by what you dreamed of doing. It is measured by what you gave 1 hour a day to, consistently, without surrender. The years will pass. The seasons will change. But the hour you chose, will remain. Choose it wisely. Guard it fiercely. Live it fully. Pass it on eternally. Because the next 30 years of your life are not built in decades, not built in weeks, not even built in days. They are built one single sacred hour at a time.